the next movie on our list. Mission Impossible 3, directed by JJ Abrams. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Who's also doing Viking Cop.
Yes. He's our cameraman. Jude, take it away.
2006 Mission Impossible 3, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours, 6 minutes. This had a budget of $150 million. What do you think this brought into the box office, Alex?
420.
All right. V?
These are hits, apparently. So.
650.
Damn.
$398 million.
I was going to go low, too.
Neither of you win a speed bump today.
Yeah, so like after the second movie, like a lot of people went to go see the second movie. It's the highest grossing movie in the franchise. But after the second movie, people didn't like it. And so like it hurt this movie going forward. But this movie kind of also rebooted the Mission Impossible franchise going forward. And every single Mission Impossible from this point on is a Bad Robot production.
All right.
That's unfortunate.
Why? These are good movies. Go ahead, Jude.
All right. Ethan Hunt is retired-ish, engaged, and going head-to-head with arms dealer Philip Seymour Hoffman. When a fellow agent goes missing, Ethan agrees to track and retrieve her. She dies before he can get her to safety, but reveals to Ethan that she believes she was set up by someone in the agency. Ethan works to uncover who the rat is and gets in between Philip Seymour Hoffman and his rabbit's foot. So what's an annoyed arms dealer to do but kidnap Ethan's now wife and pretend to murder her in front of Ethan? It's just japes, though. That wasn't Ethan's wife. He just murdered some useless translator, that's all. PSH really wants to hear Michelle Monaghan call Ethan's name before he kills him, and it's the kink that gets him killed. Philip Seymour Hoffman thought he got the jump on Ethan, but when his back is turned, Tom Cruise hits him with an armored car. Ethan grabs his wife, a live electrical wire, and his lucky rabbit's foot and gets the fuck out of China to head toward his honeymoon and happily ever after. Discuss.
I freaking love this movie.
I thought it was really good.
This is the best out of the three.
The last one was better, though.
Get out of here.
I like 2 better. I like this one better than 1, but not as much as 2.
Yeah, it goes 2, 3, then 1.
The best out of the 3 this week. Like story-wise, action-wise, it's just, I love it, dude. I love this movie.
I think you're correct. That it is the best of the 3, but I enjoyed 2 more.
Okay.
I feel the same way.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Twinsies.
Yeah.
It's just.
So like, I know people.
This one was better structured, better put together.
Yeah.
Better. Okay, I'm just gonna ask this really quick. Who's the chick? Who's his wife?
Megan Moynihan.
So was it originally supposed to be Tandy Newton?
Yes.
Because at the end of 2, they fuck off together, and I'm really confused at the start
years.
of this one.
They banged for a little while, and then she went off and did something
Tandy
else.
Newton they asked her to come back for this movie.
She was like, that guy's too fucking intense.
To reprise her role from movie 2. And Tandy Newton was like, I don't ever want to work with Tom Cruise again. And so like she turned it down, and then they just created a new character for Tom Cruise to get married to.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the relationship between them.
I did too.
And did you guys like catch that's Aaron Paul? That's her brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jesse Pinkman. It took me a while. Bitch, yeah. It's like science, dude. Like, yeah, I totally got that. Like, after we initially get introduced to him at this house party that they're having, like an engagement party or whatever, and it didn't pick up on it but later on when he's on the phone with him,
yes,
that's when I was like, oh shit, that's Jesse Pinkman.
Are you pissed that I'm here, bitch?
Sorry, man. You don't have to be bad that I'm here. I'm like, oh shit, that's Jesse Pinkman. That's so cool. Yeah, it was really cool to see him. But I don't know, dude. Like, there is not a single thing about this movie that I don't like. I love the premise. Yeah. I love the setup. I love the motivation. Philip Seymour Hoffman is freaking
He's such a bad guy.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So freaking good. I miss this dude.
He is such a good actor.
Yeah.
He
like,
really is.
The way he plays this like distant, kind of broken bad guy who just like has no empathy whatsoever and will just slaughter you because he can. Like, he was intimidating as hell. Even when he was in prison by Ethan on the airplane, and he's just like, what's your name? Who are you? Where are you coming from? He's just like, he's grilling Ethan and like finding those weak spots.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to find your girlfriend and I'm going to kill her right in front of you. I was just like, oh my God. This dude is such a savage.
So there's a convention here in Vegas called CinemaCon, where basically it's for theater owners, where the studios kind of like bring out like their sneak previews and try to get the theater owners excited about showing their movies. And one year I went to CinemaCon, and it was the year right before this movie came out. And I was in a exhibition hall where JJ Abrams kind of came out, and it was a big surprise because no one knew that he was there. And at the time, I was a big JJ Abrams fan, because just to give you guys some context to this, so this was JJ Abrams' first feature film as a director. He hadn't directed anything outside of TV before this, and like the idea that he was given like an $80 million or $125 million movie as his like first feature film with like, you know, this huge franchise that Paramount had with Tom Cruise, like for a first time director, that's just not done. But he was coming off the success of ALIAS, and this was like before he was revealed to be a complete hack. But he came out on stage, and I was like 3 rows away from him. I was just like looking up at him on stage. I was like, oh my God, this guy's so awesome. And he showed that clip of Tom Cruise interrogating Philip Seymour Hoffman on the airplane. Mm-hmm. And the clip ended where, Ving Rhames is like, Ethan, no. And then like, you know, he backs off of killing him and pulls him back. And Philip Seymour Hoffman just goes like, good job, Ethan.
Yeah.
And,
like he knows his name now. Like, yeah, the tables have turned.
Yeah. And Philip Seymour Hoffman just owned this movie. Like he was so good in it. I just love the fact that, you know, your typical scene is the guy cracks and he starts like telling the good guy what he wants, even though the good guy had never had any intention in like actually hurting him. In this scene, like you get the sense that Ethan is going to like kill him, and Philip Seymour Hoffman just refuses to break. Mm-hmm. And it was a nice little twist on that. My one problem with this though is so like this movie was written by Alex Kurtzman and Roberta Orci. This was like originally Joe Carnahan, the guy who directed Boss Level and Narc, was supposed to be the director on this movie, and he worked on this movie for like 15 months, and eventually he quit because of creative differences with the studio, and that set this movie back a year. And Tom Cruise went and did War of the Worlds in the meantime. And when they came back, they chose JJ Abrams, who had just inked a deal with Paramount for movies. And he was coming off the success of ALIAS and stuff like that. And so like a lot of the ALIAS diehard fans, which was, you know, a spy movie, were like, oh, they finally got someone who gets spy movies to do a Mission Impossible. And this movie, I got to agree with Alex. Like, I feel like, even though like I feel like the first movie is a more iconic film, this is like a really good, solid movie, and kind of sets the stage for all the next, you know, couple of Mission Impossible movies to come. And, you know, you can kind of see like the potential of JJ Abrams as like a good director and a good storyteller in this movie. And it just goes downhill from here in terms of his career, in my opinion. It really does.
I think it's interesting that this was written by Alex Kurtzman, who is like just completely destroying Star Trek right now.
Well, it was also like a precursor, because like after this movie, so like JJ Abrams did a movie with Spielberg called Super 8, and then he took over the Star Trek franchise with the same creative crew that did this movie.
Yeah. But I adore this movie. I think it might be my favorite Mission Impossible movie. I haven't seen some of the more recent ones lately. I have to go back and check them out again, because I know the one with Jeremy Renner is really good too. But
Jeremy Renner was in a Mission Impossible movie?
Yeah, dude. He's like the main character for like at least 2 out of the newer ones.
You're thinking of a Bourne movie. Yeah, you're thinking of the Bourne Identity.
No, Renner's in Rogue Nation, I think.
The Bourne movies.
You're right. Yeah. Renner was Ethan Hunt's right-hand guy in that movie. And then Henry Cavill was in the latest one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I really need to watch these.
Those are so
good.
I
haven't seen any of those movies.
I've only seen the first one from like before this week.
From 3 onwards, in my opinion, the Mission Impossible franchise really found its legs, and I think they're all super enjoyable from this point forward.
Yeah, I will definitely be just checking them out just to watch them.
I actually thought the 4th one was really boring. I didn't like the 4th.
Which one was the 4th one? Do you remember?
That was the one by Brad Bird, where like they go into like Dubai and a bunch of other stuff.
Was it the one where he's hanging off the wall on the? Never mind, doesn't matter. Anyway, the other moment in this movie that I really because you guys know me, anytime there's like a husband and wife dynamic where like in Bone Tomahawk, I identify with the farmer who goes off and tries to save his wife. When Ethan goes and he's like, I have to try and save my wife. And they're trying to figure out, they're trying to plan out like, how are we going to get the rabbit's foot? And they're like, well, we're going to swing off this freaking, that whole process of him like, I don't care what I have to do. I'm probably going to die doing it, but I have to do that. And they're like, okay, we're here for you.
What was the rabbit's foot?
Well, it doesn't matter.
It was a chemical weapon.
This is the only example I can think of where JJ Abrams' mystery box actually works, because like it was, the rabbit's foot was just a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Like it ultimately didn't matter. And they made it a point by the end of the movie to be like, to tell you that, or it's like what was the rabbit's foot? And like,
it doesn't
who
matter.
cares?
Shit, what's his name?
Tom Cruise.
No, the guy who always works with JJ Abrams, Simon Pegg.
Yes.
Simon Pegg's character, his explanation as to what he thinks the rabbit foot is all the only detail we really get about it. Yeah, he's like anytime I see some kind of a terrorist organization spend this much money on one thing, I immediately think it's the anti-God. It's the weapon to end all weapons. So that's kind of like the only hint that we get towards it, but it really doesn't matter what.
You know what's funny is like Simon Pegg. So he was just kind of like his star was on the rise when JJ Abrams kind of cast him. Nobody really knew who he was. I think he had just done Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Ricky Gervais was supposed to be in that role, and he like turned it down for whatever reason. And so like once Ricky Gervais told JJ Abrams to pound sand, he was like, well, what about the Simon Pegg guy? And so like Simon Pegg's been in like every single Mission Impossible since then.
I don't think I could have dealt with Ricky.
He always
in this
JJ
movie.
always has what's his face in his movies and cameos too.
Pegg.
Greg Gunberg.
Greg Gunberg.
Oh yeah, he was at the house party. At the beginning. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's actually like one shot where you can see Alex Kurtzman on the couch.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't like it, guys. I don't want to give him any more kudos than I have to.
Talking about the action scenes, one of the really, really cool action scenes in this movie is when they go to rescue the agent who gets captured, and Ethan's like working with his team.
Russell,
yeah, he's got Vin Rames there with the freaking van. He's got the intel with the freaking automatic gun and stuff like that.
This team's pretty much stays and put for the rest of the series, right?
Yeah, more or less.
Not really. No, Jonathan Rhys Meyers doesn't come back.
He's an
neither does
Australian
Maggie
guy, right?
Q. Well, I think he's British, but like, so like he's the helicopter pilot in this movie, and then Maggie Q is like the operations girl.
Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames are in all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they kind of alternate the other two people. But that scene, like, that's one of those lines, like you guys were talking about how like some of the cool, ridiculous lines in Mission Impossible 2. This one where their backs are against the wall. They've got these guys shooting at them. There's only one bad guy left. They're both out of ammo. The one chick's like, I'm out. How much you got? And he's like, I've got enough. And he pops out and freaking slow-mo shoots the dude and it hits him dead on. He's like, now I'm out. And he throws the magazine away and walks away. And I'm like, oh, that's so freaking badass.
Yeah, there were some interesting things with this. So like basically like while they're like doing like mission stuff, they're just talking about relationship problems, which was very like JJ Abrams at the time, because like, he'd done Felicity and stuff like that. And so like that was kind of like a fun like twist on things. They really struck a good balance between like the cerebral like heist stuff and spy stuff and the action. So like it was like a good mix of like the first movie and the second movie, in my opinion. I
agree. And I love that they kind of like detailed how the masks work finally in this movie. Like
that was cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
I love how they were literally making the mask for Philip Seymour Hoffman.
She had to do the whole little, I got to get as much of a 360 degree shot of his head with little special camera.
And they also showed how they do like the voice.
Yeah, the voice thing was really cool too. How they because in the second movie they have the voice strips, but they're like come out of nowhere. They're like, well, how does that thing work? And they never address it.
I wonder if that's real.
Or
if they just made it up.
I think
or if it's based on
if
something.
If that was real, Val Kilmer would have been using that for the last 5 years.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But they show him, he holds him down, and he has to like read this card, and he gets enough of a sample out of his voice to be able to.
I forgot about that part. That was wild.
And he's just in the middle of it.
What the fuck is
he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
They the goofiest shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they have to get a wide enough sample of all this different syllables.
It's like when you
and
get
stuff.
a new iPhone, right? And you have to
You
read
do the thumbprint.
You have to do the thumbprint, and you have to read the silly stuff so it does your voice print analysis for the phone, and same thing.
It's all real.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite part of this movie is when Ving Rhames comes up through like the manhole cover.
Oh yeah.
And at Philip Seymour Hoffman, played by Tom Cruise, and Maggie Keeler in like this like super fancy car. They look down at him and he's just like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Nothing.
What's up with you?" But it's Philip Seymour Hoffman who's like playing Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, but yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman playing Tom Cruise playing himself.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
It's very strange, but I loved it.
But I just like that. It was like, "Nothing. What's up with you?"
Nothing. What's up with you? Nothing. Cool.
I don't know what to really say about this movie other than I can't really add anything to it because it was a fun movie.
Did you guys? So,
Yeah,
you two, was it a first watch for you two?
I'm gonna say yes. I don't think so, but I don't remember the first time I watched
So
it.
were you taken in by the twist with Billy Crudup's character? Like, did you see him as the bad guy?
Huh?
The
Not
agent,
Lawrence
the
Fishburne.
IMF agent. I'm sorry. IMF, Impossible Mission Force. Agent who was helping Ethan escape. He turns out to be the one who was.
No,
working.
I don't ever get
Yeah.
surprised by that kind of stuff. I think that was kind of a fun little twist.
I like that his
Yeah.
wife was the one who shot him.
I'd forgotten about him for a second.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Well, they were directing you towards it being Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne, so
Yeah.
it was obviously not
Yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I love Lawrence Fishburne in the movie too. He's like, "Well, chocolate makes you fat, and I eat my fair share," or whatever the hell he says. He's like, that's not fair either.
He's such a hard ass.
Yeah, he's so good in this movie.
Yeah, and the part in Shanghai where like they have to infiltrate the building to get the rabbit's foot.
Mhm.
Thing I liked about that was that so you see them figure out how to get into the building, but then you never see what Tom Cruise has to do to actually get the rabbit's foot. But then you see his escape, and so like they just kind of glossed over like the actual heist and just showed like the entrance and the getaway.
Yeah,
It's kind of clever, I thought.
I liked it. I like that he was like on his toes or on his heels the whole time. He runs out. He's like, "I gotta go right now!" And he like jumps out the window and like, "Oh shit!" Like, and the other thing that they did really well in this movie was they put a freaking timer on everything.
Yeah.
Every time there was a situation happening, there was an end game where like we have to do this by this time or we're all gonna die or whatever. And it kept the momentum of this movie so freaking fast paced.
It kept it intense,
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
really,
I
really
wasn't. I
intense.
was never bored.
Yeah.
And
during this.
another good thing that they did in this movie was they actually added some like personal stakes to the mission. So like in the first movie, it's just like, Ethan Hunt is trying to clear his name. In the second movie, like he's trying to destroy the virus and save Tandy Newton. But in this one, it's like his wife. And like you can tell that like everything he's doing is to save his wife. And like he's got so much invested in his wife. And they opened the movie with like, Philip Seymour Hoffman threatening to kill Michelle Monaghan.
That 10-second countdown was intense.
Yeah. It was a great way to start the movie. And then like when we get to that scene later on in the movie, and he actually like shoots her, like for a minute there, you're kind of like,
You're like, holy shit!
Yeah.
did that actually happen? and then they find out it's like, oh, like it was just like
It was the translator.
That
the
useless
translator.
translator, which nobody cares
well,
about.
well, she was the head of his security at the Vatican, which is so like she failed because he got kidnapped. That bridge scene where like the drone is like shooting missiles and stuff, and Tom Cruise is getting like thrown against like cars, and then he has to go and get like the big gun and take down the drones while like the helicopter crew is rescuing Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like that's probably the best scene in the movie. In my
It's
opinion.
pretty damn good. And I was talking about like the motivation of Tom Cruise having to like rescue his wife and stuff. That scene where he's tied to the chair and that 10-second countdown is happening. Dude, like we kind of joke about like, oh, he acted really well in that. Like you always make fun of us for that. Dude, that shit was legit.
That was intense.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like he was
Everything happening
freaking
in
out.
his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
And, like the way his voice like shuddered.
He literally goes through like every checklist he can think of in order to like turn the situation around, and nothing's working.
And he thinks that he can convince him. He's just like,
do what you think is right.
Just do what's right.
That was his final straw, right? And then he's just like
the way
devastated.
they opened this movie with that, and just that super intense scene between Philip Seymour Hoffman and Cruise, it's just like it immediately made me buy in. And I'm like, wow.
And the freaking the nose explosion things,
Oh, yeah.
dude. When that chick was like, "Ethan, thank you for helping me," and like her eyes like go in two different directions, dude.
Oh,
like
geez.
what the fuck? It was so intense.
Yeah.
I love this movie, man.
Yeah,
this is definitely one of my.
It makes you wonder what the fuck happened to JJ Abrams. Like, why can't he make movies like this anymore?
I don't know. I don't understand what happened. Like, if maybe there was other influences that we don't know about.
I'm wondering how big of a role Tom Cruise had in keeping JJ Abrams focused on like the story, because we know for a fact that Kurtzman, Orsi, and Abrams are all hacks.
As of their newest,
I think maybe that they were like young enough where like people could tell them their shit sucked, and so like they were able to be reined in. But for the most part, like this movie is very well done, and so like I'm wondering like what the fuck happened.
Yeah, that's what when people were like, "Oh, JJ Abrams is a hack," like Katie says it all the time, and I'm like, yeah, but that Mission Impossible movie was dope. It's just like, I don't know what happened to him, man. Like, I mean, I enjoy his Trek movies for what they were. They were just action adventure movies based in the Trek universe.
Yeah,
I don't hate those movies.
I don't either.
But I don't know what happens with him. I don't know what other things does he get a lot of shit for? Star Wars, I guess. Star Wars is the biggest thing.
The Cloverfield.
I like Cloverfield. Did he do the first one, or he was just?
No, he was just producer on.
Okay. So yeah, it's just.
But he did do Super 8.
I don't remember that movie.
That movie.
Jude hates that movie.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie.
It's just bad.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
It was an alien, right?
Kind of.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna say this is my 4-star movie for this week. I love this movie. I can watch it anytime. Philip Seymour Hoffman is freaking incredible in this movie, and this movie makes me miss him more than anything else. Like the way he can go from like Along Came Polly and be like this really goofy, kind of funny comic relief character to in this movie being scary as shit.
Twister,
the Suck Zone. Like I freaking love that dude. I miss him, man. I wish I could see more.
Also, he
of
was
his
in
movies.
like the Hunger Games and Boogie Nights. Like he was a brilliant actor.
Yeah,
so good.
He's so versatile.
Yeah, we saw him in Almost Famous as well.
Oh yeah, yep.
And he had the flu in that movie.
Yeah.
But he was able to act through it. Like that's how good of an actor he was.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah,
drugs are bad.
I miss him, man. I miss his movies.
He was a talent.
Vader, what's your rating for this movie?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Wow.
I'm sticking with you. This was, it's like I said, I like 2 for different reasons. This movie was just a different kind of movie. I'm gonna give it a 4. It was super fun. It was well acted. Hoffman stole the show for me as far as I'm concerned, and it was good. It was a good watch.
This movie is what made me want to see Hoffman as the Penguin.
Oh God,
in
that
like
would
a Batman
be great.
movie.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, because there was like speculation that he was going to be cast. I think it might have been by Nolan or something, and I was like, in the third movie they were going to do like Hoffman.
This movie makes me want to continue watching this series. I haven't watched anything past this one, I don't think. So
they're all pretty much in line. I think it's been a minute, so I can't really say, but I like all the Impossible movies. These things are a lot of fun. Jude, final thoughts, give it a rating.
I loved Philip Seymour Hoffman in this. He's such a good bad guy. Like he's great in everything, but when he plays a bad guy, like look out.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I thought that they set up the relationship between Tom Cruise and Michelle Monaghan really well. I believed their relationship and I believed their love story. And I thought that was really well done. And that I feel like that was important, and because that's like the impetus of what he's trying to like. It's his reason for doing everything that he does in this, and so that really needed to be believable. And I thought that was really well done. That being said, the second one is more enjoyable for me. But I will agree with you guys. This is a 4 out of 5 nose implants.
Okay.
Got a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tom Cruise's wife in this movie, does she carry on?
Yes.
She does.
Oh,
okay.
neat.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of makes me want to watch more too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But not in the way you think.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, God damn it. You spoiled it. She's a bad guy?
No, she's not a bad guy.
She's not a bad guy. Anyway.
Now you spoiled it.
Kadish, final thoughts, give it a rating.
Again, every single movie this week was a mix of emotions for me, because this is a good movie. This is an enjoyable movie. But I hate the people who made it. I can't stand them. At the time when it came out, I was a big fan of JJ Abrams and these guys, but they've proven over the course of time to be terrible, horrible people in terms of like their mismanagement of beloved properties of mine. And I have a hard time reconciling that with this film. So I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5. I can't give it anything more than that.
You love John Woo.
Yes.
His movie was terrible, and you hate JJ Abrams, but his movie was better.
Yes.
This is my favorite week ever.
You can see why I said I was so conflicted on this.
All right, everybody, that's it for this week. What's your favorite Mission Impossible movie? Comment below. Let us know. If you're not already, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. We're really, really close to that 5K marker, so help us out there. Vader, where can they find you on the socials?
You can find me on the social medias at MattVader74 on Twitter, Instagram, here on this channel on Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings? Yeah, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. with Mr. Kadish over there. We'll be breaking down some Star Trek for the next few weeks. And that's that.
All right. Jude, where can they find you at?
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram and on TikTok. And you can find us on Discord at saltynerddiscord.com.
All right. Matthew Kadish, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter. KadishBooks.com takes you to my Amazon page where you can check out my books. And I just want to let people know that we have a new feature on saltynerd.com where you can leave us a voicemail. There's a little red button with a microphone on it in the lower corner of the website, where if you click on that, you can actually like leave us a voicemail and let us know like your thoughts on our reviews or like whatever you want to tell us, and we can actually play it live on the show and respond to it.
If it's funny enough, we'll play it on the show.
Make us laugh. We'll play it on the show. We'll do a segment. We'll do a voicemail segment.
Yeah, we'll do something.
All right, everybody. I'm Alex, the Salty Nerd. You guys can catch me on Instagram. Head over to our Instagram. It's Salty Nerd Podcast on IG. We do a lot of fun things over there. I do clips and stuff from the movies, and it's more of my personal account, so I can share what I want. We share behind the scenes photos of me and Vader getting drunk and stuff like that too. So head over to the IG account and follow us there. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Thanks for joining us. Stay salty, my friends. Oh, and the secret word of the week is bubbles. So comment below if you've watched this far into the show. Comment bubbles on the YouTube channel, and that's the secret word, and we'll do something for you.
What?
We will.
Where did that come from?
Remember at the beginning, and I was like, and tell me
That's
the code word, remember? And this message will set the code word is bubbles. Bubbles.
Yeah, but the prize kind of falls through.
Yeah, there's no prize.
Buttons.
Are you making them?
Buttons for bubbles.
No.
Buttons for bubbles.
Hashtag buttons for bubbles.
Niet.
Send it to the internet.
It's not happening.